Hey, and welcome to Book Quest, where we explore the highlights and insights of some of my favorite books, especially the hidden gems. And today we're going to enrich our minds by exploring the wonderful world of words. And there's no better treasure of words than the Thesaurus, which actually means treasury. So let's hear from past me about today's book, and if you pay attention, you'll be able to get your hands on something quite amazing. And take it away, Nick. Why are words so amazing? Because with one word, we can unlock a whole new world, a whole new dimension of thought. George Orwell understood the power of language. In his novel 1984, the Big Brother government enforces a language called Newspeak that eliminates words. They get rid of bad. They get rid of great. Now there's just ungood and double plus good. This brutal collapse of word choice imprisons our ability to express ourselves, our ability to articulate the complex thoughts and emotions that we're having. Fast forward to today, and who would have thought that we'd choose to imprison ourselves, wearing our reduced vocabularies as some sort of badge of honor, scared that if we start using the big words, we'll somehow screw with our identity. But without the big words in your back pocket, it just makes it easier for Big Brother to screw with you. So, to combat that, this video will explore the wonders and joy of using the Thesaurus. Yes, the Thesaurus. It will show you simple ways to use it, and it will point you to a free, publicly available resource. But first, some quick backstory. Last year, I did a video about the Book of Connections, which it was revealed was Peter Mark Roget's Thesaurus, established 1852. This particular version is the third edition of the 21st century edition. Now, I was happy to share my enthusiasm for a book of words, but then life moved on. But just recently, I received an email from a guy named Denis, and in it, he attached what he called a small gift. It wasn't a trip to Cancun, it was just a bunch of words. Literally, it was a digital version of the Thesaurus, the exact third edition Thesaurus with the concept index in the back by Barbara Ann Kipfer that I did my previous video on. This gift, I'm telling you, it's one of the best gifts ever. In the email from Denis, he provided some stats on this digital Thesaurus, so let's talk about it. 14,000 distinct notes with definitions, 44,000 words in total, all combining to create 420,000 distinct links. When I opened this up, I seriously had goosebumps for 10 minutes straight. And now I want to share Denis's gift with you. Let's check it out. All right, so this is the background email from Denis. 14,000 words. 44,000 unique words, so these 14,000 are the detailed descriptions that we have links to definitions within here, and then we have 420,000 links all the way going around in different directions. That's crazy. So we can click on information, or the information, which gives us the introduction and all that, but how do we use this thing? So I want you to go to the word list, and wow, it took a second to load because it is massive. So we look at how many words are in here, and we're not talking paragraphs, we're talking words. That's huge. So that's where the 14,000 is coming from. I'm sure there's some extracurriculars like this that we won't count. But look at this, it's insane. So when you open the Thesaurus, and you're just doing it like Tolkien, right? You're just wandering around. Where do you go? Where should we go? So that's the great question. Where should we go? And you might just click around for a little bit. Let's settle here and kind of see something. Aspirant, aspirations, assail, assassin, assistant, associate. Astonish. So we click on astonish. And this looks pretty cool, right? What is nice about the digital Thesaurus here in Obsidian and Obsidian Publish is that you can hover over any of these and immediately you can see that definition. Hover over that one, you can see this one. Hover over that one, and it just goes and goes and goes, which is quite a lot of fun. But let's just check out what's happening in astonish. Okay, it's a verb, the V, and basically it means surprise. So what we want to see are the synonyms here: amaze, astound, bewilder, floor, overwhelm, throw a curve, okay, stupefy. Now, what I want to direct your attention to is that these words have something cool, and that's what in the physical version Barbara Ann Kipfer so excellently put together, which I don't know, blows my mind. I would really like to find out how she did that, but she relates this to a concept. surprise. So if we click on surprise, we recognize at the top, surprise is located within this meta note called actions of a cognitive nature. Okay, so if we go back down to surprise, actions of a cognitive nature, we can see astound is here. But now we're not just looking at synonyms for astound, we're looking at conceptually similar things to surprise. That's kind of cool. So backfire, bedazzle, bewilder, confound. Now if we're looking at these words, overwhelm, electrify. That's a good one, right? I mean, doesn't that just get the brain firing? Electrify, animate, astonish, dynamize. Whoa, this is cool. But yeah, check out some of these other ones. Alarm. So astound isn't quite the same as alarm, but they do share in common a sense of surprise. Whereas astound and let's say confound, they are pretty, I mean, they would be under probably the synonyms as well. So they're also related under surprise. This is pretty cool, right? So one way to use the online digital thesaurus is very simply to just wander around, ask yourself, hey, where should we go? Settle on a few words, hover over them, see where it takes you, go down the rabbit hole. Might start out as a bunny trail, but after a while, we get to the rabbit hole and we really dig in deep. When you go to a word, then you can check out that word, you can see what's related. You can move laterally and look at the different synonyms, or you can kind of go up a level, kind of go up to the map of these words at the next level of emergence and check out the concepts that they share in common. So if we're looking at flashback suddenly, we can see the same level, the different words on that level, hallucination, memory, nostalgia, or we can kind of go up a level and conceptually try to understand what is a flashback and what categories does that fit under. And in this case, we have remember and cognitive. So with flashback, let's try remember. Now again, we're in actions cognitive. Something tells me this is probably a pretty big category. We'll explore these a little bit more in just a second. So under actions cognitive, remember surprise was 42, but it looks like remember is 40. And now what are other things that are about remembering? Hindsight, recollect, remembrance, reminisce, retrospect, block out. Okay, kind of a non-remembering. How cool is this, right? But just to recap, why this is so valuable is part of what slows us down or trips us up is not finding the right word or being able to express what we're feeling. The thesaurus helps with that. It helps get us going, gets us thinking. The languages of humanity, especially the English language, isn't just 100 words. It isn't just good or double plus good. It can be 14,000 words. It can be 44,000 words. Now that's a vocabulary that's Shakespearean. Whoa, if you're feeling like that's Greek to me, just know that there's a method to my madness. And while brevity is the soul of wit, it's not a wild goose chase to expand your vocabulary into a tower of strength, because then, well, the world's your oyster. Think about how Shakespeare could describe things in dramatic, novel, and penetrating ways. Now, we won't get to his level, but we can get a little bit closer, and that's an admirable goal. Now, what does having a vocabulary with a lot of words lead to? It leads to an enriched way of thinking. It leads to an improved analytical way of thinking, a creative way of thinking, and a connective way of thinking. It allows us to parse the particulars, to slice through the similarities, and discern the subtle differences and definitions. That's what a strong vocabulary can do. That said, please note that knowing a lot of big words doesn't mean we should always talk in big words, but it does mean we can think better if we know more of them. All right, let's jump back in. If you recall, we were at the higher order note called actions of a cognitive nature, and we were on remember. So let's just jump back. So if you go on the side, you can go to the word list. That's where we went the first time. This time, we're going to go to the categories. This is a pretty cool thing. I'm just kind of blown away that all of these words could be kind of tagged, for lack of a better term, under a few different categories that compile words in ways that their synonyms might not compile them. And that's where a lot of these serendipitous encounters are happening. And that's just a lot of fun. Okay, so what's happening here? The table of content, the TOC for categories, lists all the different categories of how these words are arranged. So not only is it here where you can just immediately click anywhere, but we also have the outline of what we see over here. And I just want to point out, if we're familiar with folders, it's in the File Explorer sidebar, and we can see the different categories here. Previously, we were in cognitive land, and these are all the different subdomains, if you will, underneath actions cognitive. So let's hop back into that note we were in. This should look familiar. Affect, we were down here before with surprise and then remember. Let's just go up and see what else is going on. Believe, right? So let's take it back to the top. We can go to categories. We can see cognitive, and believe is right here. Click on believe, and we see that, yes, this is one of those cognitive actions, and we can see other things that are related to a word like believe. So that's quite interesting. But where might we want to go? We've looked at actions cognitive. That doesn't have all of the words, so what else is out here? So if we look through this list, we can see that we have actions that are general, related to motion, related to the physical, and now we get into causes. So we can fold actions. Now we're in causes, abstract and physical causes. We can fold that. Fields of human activity, communications, education, entertainment, family, government, health. Wow, it just keeps going. Legal, military. Which one of these do you want to click into? Where do you want to wander? That's kind of the fun of this. So I'm just giving you a little walkthrough, letting you know what's available. Maybe you want to go into professions. Educator, what's under educator? Academic, alumnus, alumna, coach, conductor, cretin, obnoxious, stupid person. Where'd that come from? So that's pretty cool that the way that this is compiled, we also have some antagonistic words that are being compiled underneath educator. So that's quite enjoyable, I must say. So we're going professions, recreation, religion, sex and reproduction, social interactions, the arts. I would be interested to kind of hop in there a little bit. But let's fold fields of human activity. Now we're in life forms. So we're going down this list, right? Life forms. Beings, animals, beings, general characteristics, humans. So I'm just going to start scrolling now, right? Plants. Now we're in objects. Articles that are physical, buildings, possessions, clothing, food and drink. Oh, that's kind of interesting. What would be under food? Okay, appetizer, bun, casserole, hors d'oeuvres, pastry, victuals. That's one I'm not familiar with. So that's pretty cool, right? We're just kind of going down matter, conditions of matter, divisions of matter, qualities of matter, tools, transportation. Qualities becomes its own category. We have abstract qualities. I bet you these are pretty big too. Comparative qualities, which I think might be a helpful kind of a sharpening stone for our thoughts when we're trying to, earlier on we're talking about parsing out the particulars and sussing out the similarities. This is the area for that, where we can start to consider different word equivalents: alike, approximately, balanced, comparable. So now with whatever we encounter throughout the day, I can go into it and kind of consider, well, how was this thing that I encountered disproportionately this or that? It's kind of hard to give you an example of this on the fly, but they are helpful. Physical. Now we're into the senses. Oh my goodness. For the sake of time, let's just kind of go down to the bottom, see where it ends at. Wholeness, division, weights and measures. Okay, the planets. We're going to dive in here. The planet, geography, and now the subcategory, land. How many notes are we going to find here? Let's click in. This was more than I was expecting. What do we have? Patio, savanna, mountainous, quagmire, ravine, trench, tundra. So these aren't just landscapes, but they are ways to describe. You could say the tundra, it was cold. Like you went to this meeting and it felt like a tundra, right? There wasn't any warmth there. Or, you took a long walk. It was like you're going through the savannah. Who knows? But I'm just saying these are ways to really activate and get our brains going, right? So this is really cool. And I don't know, I just get so Now I wish I could show this to my grandma. I think she'd get a kick out of this. She was always big into words, and I think we'd have some fun together. I'd punch the buttons, and I don't know, we'd just embark on a word journey, a word excursion, you know? We'd probably only make it to 3 words before she started the next family story, but that would have been fun, right? But let's continue on. Now, the gift. How awesome is it of Denis to have assembled and shared this amazing gift? I mean, it's priceless. This is not available for download, so don't ask, but in the spirit of giving, I want to share it with you online, so I'm hosting a freely available public version on Obsidian Publish for you to use at any time. And a little bit of a surprise for you close listeners, I'm now linking to this Thesaurus as a downloadable vault for Obsidian in the description below. Now, I truly don't know how long I'll be able to provide this, so check it out now. And now, the takeaways. Number 1, this is yet another amazing example of what's possible with linked-based thinking, the Thesaurus now in a digital format. Number 2, if we expand our vocabulary, we can improve our thinking. Number 3, if we expand our vocabulary, we have extra tools to defend against the dark arts of populists, persuasionists, and other bad actors trying to get you feeling angry, scared, or victim outraged. And that is not to be underestimated in today's world. And number 4, if we expand our vocabulary, we can have more joy and enrichment with our interactions with other people, along with our interactions with ourselves, with whom we're forever stuck, so we might as well enjoy our company. Remember, here are some ways you can use the Thesaurus. Number 1, go for a word excursion, open the word list, and just scroll and go. Number 2, use the concept index. Open the categories note and just scroll and go. What's the common theme here? Well, I think J.R.R. Tolkien said it best. Not all those who wander are lost. So pull the anchor and set forth on an excursion into the unknown. Now, what I love about our new ongoing series Book Quest is that it can help unearth the hidden gems that the cult of toxic productivity has no interest in covering. I can't wait to share other treasures soon, and what you see here is the next quest I recommend you take. Good luck, and I hope to see you there.